iyal al kariginde keli ligo shokol asan iyal de ma keli moyo al batal de keli juru ay zol kharij keli wadilo shokol kan usas kela enu fi shokol fito kan diktor kela enu fi shokol fito kan lawyer kela enu fi shokol fito naman iyal de bestakal ay zol bag da sado usar u iyal de kaman biga bag der fakir asan bag der jozu karijin gaidin al shabab asan mali go shokol umon ma bag der jozo yata gili go tanin biga be juruma gurufat al makwes u berashira moyo al batal o fenahaya anna umat anna gefage do suno anna gefage do asa iyal ale anna jahi sogo fa de risala fitana de kela sumao fi kalam ta kharijin kan banad o shabab kele aynu kharijin de fi shokol kela aynu kharijin de fi shokol asan bag der rasolo fe kamtiat asan kaman bag der saado enak.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar will be presented in court for trial on Monday next week. His legal team has told iRadio. President Salva Kiir has directed the Power Purchase Committee to implement reform at JETCO, aiming to reduce token charges and improve electricity service for citizens. The national government and the government of Central Equatorial State have set up a joint task force to remove all illegal checkpoints along the Juba-Nisitu-Nimule Highway. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Diko Andrew, and now the news in details. First, Vice President Dr. Riek Machar will be presented in court for trial on Monday next week. His legal team has told iRadio. Kur Lual Kur, one of the lead defense lawyers for Dr. Riek Machar and other accused, said the government has informed his team that the legal proceeding will begin at 9 a.m. on Monday, September 22nd, in a special court in Juba. Dr. Machar, the leader of the SPLM-IO, was suspended last week after the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs indicated him detained Minister of Petroleum Port Kang Chol and several other opposition officials. According to the instrument, Dr. Machar and has a co-accused face charges including murder, treason, conspiracy, financing terrorist act, acts against state authorities, and crimes against humanity. The charges relate to deadly clashes in Nasser County, Upper Nile State in March, which left an SSPDF general and hundreds of soldiers dead. Speaking to our radio this afternoon, Kur said he met with Dr. Machar and the other client 3 times this week and described them as being in good health and prepared for proceeding. He added during this session, the court president and members will be formally identified and the powers duties of special court will established by Chief Justice will be clarified. And he happened to be saying this on an exclusive interview.
الاثنين يعني وقت هذا انه المحكمه تبدي يوم الاثنين اجراءات المحكمه الجلسه الاولى تبدي يوم الاثنين تم اعلان جميع المتهمين للجلسه يعني لا الساعه 9 صباحا جميع المتهمين استلموا اعلاناتهم لجلسه يوم الاثنين وجاهزين يعني انه جاهزين للجلسه وهذا بتكون اول جلسات المحاكمه يعني كل الحاجات دي بتعرف يوم الاثنين انه رئيس المحكمه بيكون منو وامر تشكيل المحكمه بيكون من منو من يا تداوي وكله بيتضح يوم الاثنين من امر التشكيل بتاعت المحكمه او التشكيل اللي عمله رئيس القضاء. في الجلسه الاولى بنعرف الكلام ده انه المحكمه مكون من كم نفر او من كم قاضي سياتهم شنو ده بيتضح لنا من امر تشكيل المحكمه والسلطات اللي حتشغل بها المحكمه ده كله بيتضح لنا في اول جلسه يعني.
Elsewhere, President Salva Kiir has directed the Power Purchase Committee to implement reforms at JETCO aiming to reduce token charges and improve electricity service for citizens. The directive came after a meeting where the committee reported on its review of the Power Purchase Agreement between the government and the Israel Construction and Development Group. President Kiir established the committee in May to review the agreement for the 100 megawatt power generation and distribution project in Juba, signed with Israel Construction and Development Group Company. The committee was tasked with assessing the terms and conditions of the agreement between the Minister of Energy and Dams and the company. An investigation that caused of high electricity tariffs and related charges. In a statement issued yesterday by the Office of the President and the Secretary in the Minister of Energy and Dams, Machuel Achwil Maywen, said the President instructed the committee to assess and align the terms of the power agreement. He added that several recommendations, including tariff reduction and a review of the power distribution structure through Juba Electricity Distribution Company, will be implemented. JETCO, a public-private partnership between the government and Israel Construction and Development Group, is the main electricity supplier in Juba. The national government and the government of Central Equatoria State have set up a joint task force to remove all illegal checkpoints along Juba-Nisitu-Nimule Highway. The announcement followed a visit of Central Equatoria Deputy Governor Paulino Lokudu, South Sudan Revenue Authority Commissioner General Simon Akwei, and Juba County Commissioner Emmanuel Tete to Nisitu checkpoint on Thursday. The delegation held a meeting with security organs at the checkpoint to address complaints of illegal roadblocks and unauthorized collection targeting truck drivers. The task force will be chaired by the Commissioner of Customs Service and will oversee the removal of all unlawful checkpoints except those justified for legitimate security operation. Deputy Governor Paulino Lokudu spoke at Nisitu yesterday and happened to be saying this.
الكوميتي اللي بعملوا ده بعمل سوبرفيزون لحاجات على اننا قاعدين نشتكي منه ده والسواقين جابوا انه قاعدين نشتكي منه بيعمل سوبرفيزون في الكلام ده والكوميتي ده will be empowered عشان نعمل انفستيجيشن للناس اللي بيعملوا حاجات كاب. أنا ده ما ممكن نجي هنا ببودا وانتم ما بتعرف انه ده اوزول ده بنجي مع موتور سايكل بنجي مع عربات برايفت صغار وبنجي هي وقت you will not know us وأنا بنمسك ناس تانيين on a spot. We don't want to reach to that level there سبب أننا جينا عشان نتونس معكم. إحنا بكون على نسيتو ولا محل كله. لإضافة لده كوميتي ده يشيلوا بوابات الفلوس نوس هنا ده كله بارا ما دارين نشوفها يا بوابات الفلوس. بوابة ده بس يكون في نسيتو هنا من هنا لجوبا ومن هنا لنيمولة نشيلوا نازل بالا إلا بسبب أمنية بس إلا for security reason. لكن عشان نعمل دراهم نعمل شنو نشيلوا بالا. حتى الباركينج في اللوكيلي بايام سال إنهم بيشيلوا 5,000 ده. We will just suspend it temporarily. عشان نحل المشكلة ده.
Simon Akwei, the Commissioner General of South Sudan Revenue Authority, said transit goods should not be charged with parking fees.
The rate schedule that you are talking about is legal, but we will not do it the way we are doing it now. Got to give a shackle. Let us do it inside because as Zola there yet could fi park there. Ataja shanimshi give wawe inum yako raha. Lakini ogamba then akuma there hakufi fi raha betoda inside the park. But if you are just transit, this is where our challenge is. They say transit goods are being charged parking fees. You are transiting, going on the road. Then you are being charged fees of parking and you have not even parked. We will not be charging people on the highway. But we have our park here. Once we resolve it, of course we have a right because we have a gate. We have invested on that park. So inside the park, you have to pay certain fees agreeable to both South Sudan Revenue Authority and Central Equatoria State.
On his part, the Commissioner of Juba County, Emmanuel Tete, called on the security personnel not to harass truck drivers along the highway.
في أرجل زاد فيها حكومة في نزيدو فيها حكومة عربية لما يوصل لنا على ما تسالوا لا أنا شهادة بيني إلا سواء بعمل فكة جائز من هناك توالي بتالي يدو عشان ما يسالوا ده حقاي ما جدا يدو لو عملتوا له عربات صغار ما بنقول لهم شامل لكن غرامات ده في مرور فيه عشان يلزم زول إنه بكرة يخاف لكن بيسال لكن عربية كبيرة ما مهمة بتاعه الشغل بتاعك مرور تسهيل عمليات مرور وفي حوادث حصل أنت بدأت ترسم حادث تعمل شنو ده تابع جرات كالعادة مهمة بتاعك الوصول.
The Nisitu checkpoint, located about 23 kilometers from Juba in Lokili Payam, hosted a custom office where goods entering the capital from East Africa are cleared before proceeding to the city. You're still listening to iRadio News. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation said 27 South Sudanese cattle headers who were detained in Ethiopia are awaiting a repatriation. According to the ministry spokesperson, Ambassador Abuk Aguel Mayen, the headers were arrested after crossing the international border into Ethiopian territory while armed. She said the South Sudan's embassy in Addis Ababa has been engaging with Ethiopian authorities to secure their return. Ambassador Abuk confirmed that the group is now free and that arrangements are underway to bring them back home. She made the remarks during the weekly media briefing held in Juba yesterday, and she said this.
The 27, we have good news actually. The ministry has been engaging with the Ethiopian government in regards to the plight of these 27 youth. They have been released because they were actually jailed. So now they are released and they're awaiting transportation back to the country. So anytime there will be an announcement in that regard that they have arrived here.
The ministry did not give details on when exactly the group will return back, but assured the government is working with the Ethiopian authorities to ensure their safety repatriation. The governor of Central Equatorial State has urged citizens to recommit to peace as the world prepares to mark the International Peace Day. Rabbi Mujing Emmanuel said the day is reminded that peace is about justice, harmony and dignity, not just absence of war. Governor Emmanuel called on the citizen head to the call of the president for South Sudanese to reject violence, embrace dialogue and unite to heal the country's wound. The International Day of Peace is observed annually on 21st of September. This year's celebration in South Sudan will be marked under the theme Act Now for a Peaceful South Sudan. The United Nations say the day is dedicated to promoting peace through dialogue and addressing the root cause of a conflict. Governor Emmanuel appealed to the state officials, local leaders, youth and citizens to take part in the grassroots initiatives that turn peace into practical action.
This year's theme, Act Now for a Peaceful South Sudan, reminds us that peace is not only the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice, harmony, and dignity in all our communities. I echo His Excellency, President General Salva Kiir Mayardit's call to reject violence, embrace dialogue, and unite to heal our nation's wounds so that our children can inherit hope, security, and unity. I urge state ministers, county commissioners, administrators, traditional leaders, youth, and citizens, as well as other stakeholders, to engage in home-growing initiatives to ensure peace translates into practical action at the community level.
He also commended government institutions, partners, civil society and the private sector for supporting peace efforts and encouraged them to continue working for lasting stability in Central Equatorial State. And lastly, the Bank of South Sudan has issued a new directive to regulate the movement of cash within the country and across its border. In a statement released yesterday, the Directorate of Banking Supervision and Financial Stability outlined measures under the amended Bank of South Sudan Act and the Banking and Other Financial Institutional Act. The directive stated that the large sums of South Sudan pounds or foreign currencies can only be transported through licensed financial institutions and their authorized agent. It added all such movement must be documented, declared and reported to the Bank of South Sudan. The bank also directed the businesses and traders are allowed to move cash only for the purpose of depositing funds into licensed commercial banks. On a cross-border movement, the bank directive says importing or exporting cash above the threshold set by bank requires prior written authorization. Any undeclared or unauthorized transfer of cash will be treated as illegal with penalties including confiscation and possible prosecution. This directive also requires financial institutions, their agent and corporate entities to submit report of such transaction to the Directorate of Currency and Banking Operation within 24 hours. According to the statement, enforcement will be carried out in collaboration with the law enforcement agencies, custom and borders authorities. With that being, we came to an end with our local news. Now to my colleague Madrama Jamis with the international news.
From the national events to stories that shape our world, it's time for international news brought to you by Prestige Miller Limited.
11 people detained in Ghana after being deported from the U.S. have assured the West African nation's government, their lawyer has told the BBC. Oliver Becker said the deportees had not violated any Ghanaian law and their detention in a military camp was therefore illegal. The government has not yet commented on the lawsuit but has previously said that plans to accept another 40 deportees. Elsewhere, a British couple who were detained for nearly 8 months by the Taliban in Afghanistan have been released. An official with the knowledge of the case has said Peter Reynolds, 80, and his wife, 76, who have lived in the country for nearly 2 decades, were held after being stopped while traveling home on 1st February. The couple were freed through Qatari mediation after they were transferred from Kabul Central Prison to a larger prison during the final phase of negotiations, the official said. And finally, the U.S. has for the 6th time vetoed a draft resolution at the United Nations Security Council that would have demanded an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages. U.S. Deputy Middle East Envoy Morgan Hostages said the attacks do not go far enough in condemning Hamas or recognize Israel's right to defend itself. All 14 other members of the Security Council voted in favor of the draft resolution, which described the humanitarian situation in Gaza as catastrophic and called on Israel to lift all aid restrictions.
That was international news. We thank our proud sponsors, Prestige Miller Limited, for bringing you the bulletin. Stay tuned for more stories right here on iRadio.
Thank you so much, Madrama. Up next, the sport news with Emmanuel Joseph Akile.
Marcus Rashford scored twice as Barcelona kicked off their Champions League bid with a 2-1 victory away to Newcastle United on Thursday, while Erling Haaland notched his 50th goal in the competition in Manchester City's win over Napoli. The third consecutive evening of action in the first round of games in this season's league phase also saw Eintracht Frankfurt, Sporting Lisbon and Club Brugge record big wins, while FC Copenhagen held Bayern Leverkusen. The Club World Cup may have hampered some clubs' pre-season preparations, but for Bayern Munich coach Vincent Kompany, the month-long tournament helped with a quick and seamless integration of new signings. The Bavarians had new arrivals Jonathan Tah and Tom Biskov in the squad for the 14 June to 13 July tournament in the United States, where they were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Paris Saint-Germain. Several items, including Borussia Dortmund, have said they felt the impact of a shorter than usual pre-season training period because of their participation in the Club World Cup. And finally, a black market selling thousands of Premier League tickets has been revealed by a BBC investigation. Companies based at a number of overseas locations, including in a Swiss town with a population of 4,000, are behind it. They are thought to be using memberships and computer software to obtain tickets at scale through clubs' online ticket platforms. The resale of tickets is illegal in the UK, and the Premier League names the websites on an unauthorized list. That's all from the world of sports.
Thank you so much, Akila. With that being, we came to an end with our news today, but let's remind ourselves with the headlines. First, Vice President Dr. Riek Machar will be presented in court for trial on Monday next week, his legal team has told iRadio. President Salva Kiir has directed the Power Purchase Committee to implement reforms at JETCO aiming to reduce token charges and improve electricity service for citizens. The national government and the government of Central Equatoria State have set up a joint task force to removal of all illegal checkpoints along the Juba-Nisitu-Numule Highway. That's the end of iRadio News. If there is any story or event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I'm Diko De Andrew. Thank you for listening.